folks. Give me 1 second or a minute.
2 hours later.
Background been taken care of.
2,000 years later.
We are finally here. Give me 1 second, folks. 1 more minute. Finally, after 2 months, I'm back with the blog. I would have done this blog. You know, I always say I would have done this blog sooner, but here's a fact. I'm busy with work. I'm working. And what am I going to do? Say no? Nobody at my job wants to work certain days, so I'm forced to pick up the slack. But that will change this summer because I got a life too, man. I got a life too. I got to do another gig outside of my job, and this blog is one of them. So how's everybody doing? It is 5:35 p.m. It is June 30th, 2017. You know what that means? It's the day after June 29th. You know what else that means? And I forgot to write that down on my notes. June 30th means it's the last day to use the YouTube on the Nintendo Wii. Which means that, not the Wii U, but the Nintendo Wii, the old one, since that console is pretty much outdated, today marks the last day to use that app. And it sucks because there are certain videos that, no matter how bad the quality, you can still watch them. Because the YouTube app actually has a good feature where you can watch 240 and 360 and it looks nice and sharp. Even if it doesn't, just adjust your TV settings. But with the Roku, you can only play stuff from 360 is questionable and 480 and above. But even that is sometimes questionable. And the high def shit, so. And then the app just stopped fucking working on, let me see now. On Wednesday. Or was it Tuesday? No, it was Wednesday that it stopped working and it pissed me off. So that's been my last couple of days. I've been working on projects, making footage, putting together pieces together of DVDs. I hate when fucking sellers online try to get too fancy and sell you high def quality of DVDs. They try to make it, it's a bootleg DVD, but you try to make the fucking thing look like it's a fucking professional DVD. And the problem is, it's a DVD minus or plus R, and you pop it on DVD and it freezes. You need like an advanced DVD to play shit, which is what I was trying to do. Work on YouTube, merge the footage with that DVD, and I ended up getting a better copy than what I purchased. And I could have sold it for better, higher. Yeah, that's right. I'm no different than the eBay sharks. So anyway, let's begin with the blog. The light is on. It is hot. This is my new setting. My new room is much bigger than my previous room. It's a mess. Before I begin, my glass of water. There you go. Need to clear the throat out. I've been at... Damn you, pen. Oh, well. Give me a second, people. The pen broke and I had to make a new pen. So I'm going to use this old Spider-Man pen that I bought back in 2014. I don't know. So anyway, let's begin with the blog. Now, I've said this before in another video. I don't watch that much TV anymore. TV is pretty much dead for me. I try to watch it, I can only be on it for 2 minutes. So where has my attention shifted to? DVDs and VHSs? I wish. Yes, I said VHS. I still mess around with VHSs. Where's my attention shifted to? Podcasts. And this is my pet peeve. There's too many fucking wrestling podcasts. How can you people expect people to keep up with it? There is one podcast per wrestler. It's not even funny. The worst one of all is the J.R. Ross Report. That is the worst one. You can't sit here and tell me that is the best one because Jim Ross has an annoying habit of interrupting guests. He's like a friendlier version of Sean Hannity. If you watch Sean Hannity on Fox News, and he keeps interrupting the guests, and the person being interviewed, all he has to do is say yes, no, that's right, yeah. And who does all the talking? The host. And it's funny because he's very popular, and anybody you say that he makes a great podcast, I was choking on my own rage, as Mo Sizlek would say on The Simpsons. Where was I? That's right. Just because somebody is good at one thing doesn't mean he transcends well into another department. I remember years ago, Jim Ross did commentary for the XFL, and a lot of football fans complained because all of his stuff was not good. He would call the moves all wrong, which brings me to the conclusion of his podcast. His podcast is boring. He's had interesting guests, but he keeps talking over the guests. And I'm not the only one who said this. But on the MLW Radio Network, I lost my pen, so I'm going to use a pencil. On the MLW Radio Network, there's a total of 21 wrestling podcasts. 21. There could be more. Some are nobodies, and some are actual wrestlers. This is the equivalent of reality TV when you have a bunch of whatevers that nobody heard of becoming famous for no apparent reason, and then you have the other ones who are celebrities already. What the fuck do you need a podcast for? It's like when a celebrity opens up a YouTube channel. What the fuck do you need a YouTube channel for? You're already famous as it is. Stick to what you know, man. Let the little ones have a bone instead. But no, you can't complain about that. So, 21 podcasts, and the most common names on those podcasts. J.J. Dillon has a podcast. I gave that one a shot. Tony Schiavone has one, which is a pretty good one. And Sean Mooney, the guy from the old event center back in the WWF days, he has one with Hacksaw Jim Duggan called Primetime Wrestling Podcast. I don't know. It's interesting to see him and Hacksaw Jim. That's an odd pairing. The audio's not that great. Hacksaw has a very loud voice, but he's a friendly guy. So the Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard is actually one of the best ones. But I'm getting to think I'm getting worn out about that podcast. They're starting to make polls that not interest me anymore. I've listened to every single episode of the Something to Wrestle with, except I skipped 2 episodes. The XFL one and the Judgment Day 2002, because anything wrestling from 2002 to me is boring. So I always skip that stuff. And the What Happened When, which is their spin-off version, I listened to that one. Those are kind of okay, but they cover pay-per-views a lot, and I've never seen some of those pay-per-views at all. This is from like before. When it comes to WCW, I didn't see too many pay-per-views. I own them, and it's like there's a trick to it. And he tells us to go to the WWE Network, click on the minute and second, and get to watch from there. That's the only way I could do it, and you get to narrate and watch what's going on, because it does get a little bit boring sometimes just listening to the audio, which is why I haven't finished listening to the Halloween Havoc 98 episode. But yeah, there's too many fucking podcasts, but the issue is this. How unique can you possibly be when you go on one podcast and then another podcast and then another podcast, and you're telling the same story we heard 100 times? How many times am I going to hear about Razor Ramon, how he became Razor Ramon? How many times am I going to hear about how he became Diamond Stud? MVP has one too, and how many times am I going to hear about him going to jail and get arrested? You hear that story in every single one of the podcasts. It gets annoying. And personally, it's like there's some that I gave the J.J. Dillon one a shot. That one was really interesting. J.J. Dillon, a former Four Horsemen. That one is more about mathematics. He talks about the business side, the inside of it. Like when you do this show and you make this profit, how much can you cut it down to something? I don't trust Eric Bischoff that much. The only thing I like about Eric Bischoff, aside from him kicking WWF's ass in the rings, was the story about the Ninja Star Wars. That's the only thing I like about him. And I was just listening to the Sean Mooney Hacksaw Jim Duggan one, like I said. And that one is okay. I've listened to 3 episodes, but I've always fallen asleep. As for the Something to Wrestle with, the Austin Walked Out episode sucked. That one was boring. Because Bruce's response, everything was, I'm not there. So that's my pet peeve. There's too many fucking podcasts, and you can't sit there and tell me that's a good thing, because how unique can they possibly be? I've tried listening to other departments, and even my brother's probably getting annoying because I'm complaining about it. But that's my new entertainment. I don't even watch the TV that much anymore. Now my mom uses the TV more than me. This TV, because she sleeps in my room, because I don't really sleep here much. I sleep at my job, so she watches TV here. I set up the setting for her. What am I going to do? Not complain. Okay. Enough with the podcast issue. Let's focus on television now. I sometimes like to wake up in the morning and watch the news, only to see if there's any hot chicks around with mini skirts and their legs showing. Don't blame me. We're all guilty of that. I'm shocked that Jill Nicolini came back to the WPIX Channel 11. Jill Nicolini is hot, and she's a MILF. But I'm shocked she came back to Channel 11, so it's weird when you watch it. You'd think she was always on Channel 11, because you watch stuff from 2006 to 2016, and man, she still looks fine for her age. Don't know if she's pregnant because she keeps touching her stomach all the time. I don't know when she came back to the WPIX or the PIX or the CW. I don't know what the hell the name of that channel is anymore. That shocked me. There's a shooting going on right now in the Bronx right now, and give me a second. It's beep 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 beep. Give me. The shooting is Bronx Lebanon Hospital Center. That is going on as I'm reading this to you. I don't know who got shot. I don't know. This is news bulletin. I'm breaking in for you. How do you like my new setup? And long walks make me sleepy. I've been fatigued and tired lately because I was doing extra work at my job, and moving here was a pain in the ass. I installed my computer after a week of moving, and I gotta say, I don't see myself moving again because moving is not fun anymore. The moving this year has worn me out. I'm tired. I'm worn out, beat up. I couldn't sell water this summer because I got sick. Being out in the heat did damage, so I'll be back in business this week, being it's 4th of July. I'm not even want to second guess if I want to do it or not, which is what I'm going to talk about in another episode, 4th of July, because the 4th of July last year sucked for me. It was okay if I don't have gone on the business end, but I had my reasons why I burned myself in work. Go watch my mindless blog episodes last year. And one more thing for all you new users who are watching this video, why do you people keep subscribing to my Axeman 15 channel? I don't really upload anything there. I went from having 120 subscribers to 162 subscribers. I don't even know who these people are. This is where I want my action. On this channel. You got that? But I don't know where these people go to. Last but not least, I have to start practicing a podcast voice. That means talk like this, say like this with a dull voice like this. You know, sound like, I was listening to the, speaking of too many podcasts, I try to listen to the Edge and Christian podcast. Those guys are fun in wrestling. I remember when they used to do the 5-second pose, but God, their podcast really sucks. They need to stick back to their Edge and Christian, totally awesome show on the WWE Network, because their podcasts suck. I can't stand their voices. They sound very boring. They talk like this. Another podcast that's also really dull and boring is the Lance Storm and the Jackal. They come across as two know-it-all nerds. I'm super intelligent. I have a voice like this. The Revenge of the Nerds. I am the king of the nerds. They're like nerds. They're like jocks disguised as nerds in the movie Revenge of the Nerds. But I'm super intelligent. I have an IQ of this and that. They sound like the voice of a troll on the internet. So that's about it. I did 1 second of 5:48, 8 minutes. I am finished with this video. It's Friday. I've been putting it off. I'm done. Look how much I wrote for this one video. Can you see people see anything? I'm always wondering what the lighting is. Funny. The lighting is off. The background is different. But, I had to close the window because when I was practicing with the camera, you could hear the dog bark outside. There's this stupid dog that barks outside. It's a good thing I don't live on the other room, because if I were to live on the other room, you would hear the sound of the Long Island Express going. So that's it for today's podcast. I'm finished for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast. Whether they upload it today or tomorrow is another story. But that is it for now. So stay tuned for more stuff. I am signing off. The red button is on. I am 8 minutes and 54 seconds. Although your video might say 16 minutes or 17 minutes. I don't know. But I must get going. I must talk softly and slow. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.